Step 1, wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
some changes going on. I don't like that logo overlay. Maybe we need to bring it on down here. There we go. We'll bring that on down there. There you go. So I'm not blocking your stuff. Yes. Peggy, I just saw that message. Yes, we got Nightbot. We got Nightbot. I wanted to give my poor little mods just a little bit, more time to hang out with y'all, right? And they're always constantly moderating. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you. If you don't know who I am, I'm Bullhorn Betty. I'm the crazy blonde lady. Well, I'm no longer blonde. I'm kind of gray and brown-headed now. I'll let the blonde grow out. But I used to be the blonde with the bullhorn. Now I'm just the old gal with the big mouth, okay? That's all I am. The old gal with the big mouth. It's nice to see you beautiful people coming in today. As you guys know, thank you, Kim. Thank you. There was a very weird kind of statement, going around yesterday from at night. And, when I start seeing crap like that, I'm thinking, what did they find, right? Here we go. Look at that. We got Nightbot. You guys don't even have to worry about it anymore. All my beautiful mods always putting crap into my channel. The only thing I need to do is find the, and I call it crap. It's my stuff. I'm not calling my channels crap, okay? That's not what I'm meaning. They're the ones that are always having to plug this stuff in for you guys every morning. So I figured I'd give them a little break and start adding some new interactive things. Now, we do have stuff that will get you guys blocked, okay? It's set up. It's my moderators have nothing to do with it. I've added it to Nightbot. So I'm going to tell you, it will knock you off and it will suspend you for 600 seconds, whatever that ends up being. Like, I don't know if that's 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't know. It's 600. I set it at 600. QB, BT, JLR, the F-bomb. Now, we know that Bullhorn Betty has a potty mouth, and I am a sailor behind the scenes. And my mods are amazing and don't speak like me, so I don't have to worry about them. But if I decided to write something in there and say drop an F-bomb, or my moderators decided to write something in there and drop the F-bomb, they can't. And they're disabled from that. So please be careful. Let me see what words do I have that are my blocked words. Hold on, I'll tell you exactly what they are. Chat moderation, blacklisted words. We have filter allows to time out, which no, we're going to disable. This filter allows you to time out whitelisted links. No, I'll disable that. Oh, that's enabled. Hold on, I need to enabled or disabled. Hold on. Let me enable it. Okay, it's enabled. So the words are QB, BT, JLR, bitch, F, QB's name out, spelled out, BT's name spelled out. Those are all blocked words. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like about 7 blocked words. Those will get you automatically timed out. Those words will get you automatically timed out. So if you guys want to speak about Jonathan, you're going to have to call him a different word, and we're going to have to be succinct with the words that we choose to call these people, okay? I choose scumbag, but hey, pick your words. Doesn't matter. We don't plug those people. Not on this channel. So I just figured I'd go over some new rules because I know you guys aren't used to them, and we do have some automated. So you can use like ish, bish, you can use those type of words in the chat, but you just can't use, especially those 3 people. I don't want those 3 people ever listed in my chat. And actually, I think I might add SF as well, because I know there's some people, we use UTI, UPI, unscrupulous PI, right? We use different names. Chlamydia is going to be in there at some point. So Enough with the rules. Enough with the rules. I just wanted to let you guys know of some changes because it's not going to be my mods. It's going to be me and my Nightbot that's going to be creepy crawling throughout all of our stuff. I'll be working on commands also, so we can promote other channels with the use of commands when we see them here. Like if Justin came in, we could drop his, information. Smiley came in, we could drop her information. Lady Freedom, the people that we respect on these platforms. The idea is make sure that the hate channels and the people that do terrible jobs do not get promoted or plugged on any good legitimate channel, and that's what we're going to do. Remember, they bullied me for 4 years. And now that people understand who I am versus who they are and the smoke and mirrors that they gave, they've lost a lot of support. And we're going to capitalize on that support because what they did to me was wrong. What they're doing to BJ is wrong. What they continue to do to other creators that they don't like or that don't agree with them or don't kowtow to their way of thought process, which is obviously delusional, mostly filled with substances. I don't know if you've noticed, okay? Most of our people are good people, good Christian folk over here, okay? We're not hanging out with potheads. We're not hanging, some of you guys, maybe pot's a little too light. I already know some of you guys. I'm just saying, we see you, but the hard stuff, right? The hard stuff. We don't hang out with people that engage in the crap that they do. People that go out of their way to intentionally abuse people mentally, physically, emotionally, and verbally. Like, this is abuse. So we're done. We're done. The abuse people, the abusive channels, they're kicked to the curb. We literally bum chuck them out of the true crime community. We all stand in solidarity and bum kick the crap out of them. They're their own animal again, okay? They're their own animal. They may touch on true crime here and there, but they're bullies, okay? They're bullies, and all they do is create chaos for profit. I don't want no part of that, okay? We deal with real life people here, like Sebastian Rogers, which I'm absolute certain something terrible happened to him. And we got Yahoo over here, numbnuts, playing games. So, this is real world stuff. We don't have time for the bullcrap. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. So we saw this kind of, and it really wasn't a cryptic message from X. Let me go to at night, because that's one thing I didn't pull up, is the at night post. I know you guys have probably read it, but I want to explain to you guys what triggered me into, digging a little deeper, okay? Digging a little deeper and seeing, because these are areas, when we're working hard, we're not going down all these we don't have time to go down all these different rabbit holes. Thank you. What does it say? Oh, my Nightbot's going. There should be one in there for Sonia too. I put Sonia's in there too. So you'll see yours pop up. You'll see yours pop up eventually. I don't know how I got these. I didn't know if it was going to work. I just plugged this stuff in, so I might adjust it, later down the road. Has Sumner County? Yes, they did get a new DA. We went over. I'm not impressed by the guy. The guy's a white-collar crime. He's the second in charge under Ray Whitley. We have Ray Whitley 2.0. So as far as me having any confidence with anybody, they're not changing leadership. They're just keeping the good old boys going. And that's what's really upsetting me. And we have to break that stigma. But right now, we're fighting with their local media because their local media is corrupted right along with the government. They will not say anything that somebody's opinion of Eric Craddock or anything going on. Even Seth Rogers' statements about, on when he was standing out in front of Sumner County, those were sanitized. His interviews were all sanitized, even by friendlies, people that we highly respect, like Caitlin. She has people. It's not her fault. I don't want to blame her. But somebody like Holly Thompson, it is her fault. She's been there long enough. She's got some weight around her channel where she can say, no, we're not doing this. But she's just as corrupted. And I don't understand how we have a red county and like Holly Thompson in there, not wanting to play a song that, John Rich and his, another artist that he's promoting, and got them on one of their opening channels, and they said it's too political because they were saying something about America. That's the station that Holly Thompson works for, a very un-American channel and station. But it doesn't matter. The problem that we're facing here is, how are we going to be getting new leadership in place like Sumner County when unless we're physically in that county, we can't make any difference, right? Because they've got a corrupted media. In Tennessee, they don't have a lot of infrastructure there. So, they really limit the ability of them being online, especially outside of their homes. So we got a lot of different things that we are dealing with here. But at the end of the day, At Night has this weird post that many have picked up on. It's for immediate release. It happened, I don't think it's that one. Oh, and that's another thing as well. We had, I don't know if you guys saw, in Florida, we had another child operation, solicitation, children, you guys get it. We had another operation like that happen here in Florida, which netted about 60 of our youth about 90% of the missing children that we were looking for. We found about 90% of them in the last project we did with the U.S. Marshals here in Florida. U.S. Marshals, a sting. Thank you. Oh, look who it is, Sepsis. I didn't see you there. Well, good morning, love. I hope you're doing well. Oh, thank you, Dolly. I appreciate that. Did they get a deal? Who got a deal? I'm not sure what you're referring to. It might have been something I said, but I kind of lost my train of thought. But we were doing the whole, there's 60 kids in Florida. We found 90% of our kids that are missing. We still have some work to do. They're doing therapies. They're doing a lot of things for these children that were out on the street. It's 60 freaking children. That's a huge operation. A huge operation to think that we have 60 kids. Now, remember, guys, you guys got to understand this, because we're getting kind of over to the ST conversation here because of what they put out on social media. So let me go ahead and pull this up. I think I got a couple little stories that I've got to do before we jump in. Of course I do. Some semi-political, and two related to two prior cases, and then we'll jump into this X post. So let me go ahead and pull this up. This is related. I'm not going to, because you guys know I'm on the bandwagon of, I'm done with Cracker Barrel, the whole changes. You guys know I was on for days, advocating through X and doing what I can, doing my part. I even went out to Steak and Shake. By the way, it's been a long time since I went to Steak and Shake. I think I truly forgot how delicious their burgers were. Okay, I don't know if I have gone to I don't know why I go to McDonald's or Burger King anymore. I really don't. Because when I go up there to purchase a burger, like even a quarter pounder, I'm paying like $11 freaking for my sandwich. Do you know that I went over to Steak and Shake? I got a Western barbecue burger, which came with bacon, barbecue sauce. You could get it loaded, French fries, and a drink for under $10. For under $10. Well, you know what? I'm sorry, but we've got one right around the corner, but I've just not, up until this whole, Cracker Barrel controversy and me just loving the poking of the bear that Steak and Shake was doing. Like, I love that. I don't know what I can tell you. You guys know I love being a boil, right? And when somebody messes up and they're my rival, I'm going to poke the bear. I'm poking the bear. Well, Steak and Shake poked the bear, okay? And it made me feel some type of way, okay? I don't know how to express that. Oh, thank you, Sonia. I don't know how to express that, but it made me feel some type of way, okay? So, at the end of the day, I ended up going there. I'm like, you know what? I'm out here saying boycott Cracker Barrel, right? Boycott Cracker Barrel. And here we got, Steak and Shake CEO saying, basically, suck it, Cracker Barrel, right? We'll take your customers. We haven't changed anything in our history or heritage. We're not going back. We can survive in this and be successful. Do you know, I did not even realize this because I don't go to Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake stock? Holy smoke! That son of a gun's through the roof. Just, they have not dropped or anything. Like, I'm just like, what? So there's been this struggle, and then they changed the sign back, right? So now we got Uncle Herschel with the Cracker Barrel. Like, listen, I know people are making the joke that they took the cracker and the barrel. Okay, back in the day, this is what our young folks don't know. Why? Because we forgot how to educate our youth, okay? It's all about sexual identity in education anymore instead of actually an education. So the reality of this is the reason why it's called Cracker Barrel is not slang. It's because the blessed crackers used to literally come in that barrel that he's leaning on. That truly, it wasn't Uncle Herschel. Cracker Barrel is the barrel he's leaning on because that barrel is how they delivered crackers. You guys get it? Inside that barrel is not an indigenous person. It's actually crackers, not slang, not somebody that looks like me. Here, let me show you. Hold on. Okay, all right, we're back. For all the people in the back, okay? For all the people in the back, they have these things in them, but they don't look like this. They more look like saltines, okay? They're like saltine type crackers. These are more club crackers, okay? But this is what's in the barrel, okay? It wasn't referring to me. It was referring to actual crackers, okay? So I know that they like to say they took the cracker and the barrel, but really, Uncle Herschel's just a staple. He's not the cracker. The Cracker Barrel is the cracker and the barrel, okay? I just want to make sure everybody understands, because a lot of people don't know, right? But see, since I come from the country, we still knew what Cracker Barrels were, because sometimes crackers did actually come in a barrel when I was a little girl. There were smaller barrels, but they were still crackers.
Company by removing the old-fashioned country gentleman has led to the stock wiping out $250 million.
I want you guys to understand this, because these are investors, okay? These are people. You got to understand, a lot of those people in those stores do have stock options and 401ks, and this lady not only took food out of their mouth, money out of their pocket, but also absolutely tanked their stock market. And it's not, even after going back to it, it's not changing, because at the end of the day, many thought this was the only Christian value store outside of Hobby Lobby and Chick-fil-A. People were going and supporting this company for their good Christian values on all sides of the aisle, folks. This is not just, it's not one side or the other. We can't make a company tank this bad with it being one way, okay? Even if it was just that side, it wouldn't have worked. If it was just this side, it wouldn't work. They pissed everybody off, because this was the only last true fresh country store we'd had left. They were making fresh biscuits. You knew when you went in there you were getting fresh food. Well, they stripped that. The reason why they were tanking long before this transition to the new sign is because they stopped making fresh food. People were expecting to go in there, and when they were going in there, they were getting hard biscuits, not the fluffy, light biscuits we've been accustomed to for the last 40, 50 years. Our bacon didn't taste good. Why? Because they were cooking our bacon a day before and serving it to us the next day. That's disgusting. They used to make our meatloaf, trays and trays of meatloaf, fresh meatloaf every single day. And they started doing that at the beginning of the week, cutting it down to portions and freezing it and microwaving your food before it went out on the plate. These were the things that were tanking Cracker Barrel long before this change. So we knew the quality of food was going bad. To what degree? I don't think we knew until this change happened, and their employees were pissed. Why were their employees pissed? Yes, day-old biscuits in a country store. Come on now. Exactly, VA. Come on now. One of the simplest things to make is a tray of biscuits. Literally the simplest thing to make, and this CEO thought it was wise to feed us day-old food. And she wonders why her business just started spiraling out of control. Since she's been in office, she's lost this company almost $1 billion, this CEO. From the time she started to this one being the worst, she has been horrible. I don't know why companies keep paying for these idiots to come and ruin their brand. To be honest with you, I know that there's companies out there that do stupid stuff like this. You got to understand, Cracker Barrel, they have some of the best land in America. The best land in America. Having a shyster CEO come in there and destroy it so they can sell it to their friends for parts, that's very, very profitable. And since she's been here, she took the stock from $180 per share down to a measly $54.40 when they decided to correct $54.40 when they decided to correct the signage. But by this time, we now knew that they weren't honoring our good Christian values, and they were giving us and serving us old food. So now that we know this, the simple change on their sign is not enough. Now, once they made the change, the investors did rally. I've been watching this stock going up and down, up and down, up and down for literally the last couple weeks. But I can tell you, they had a up, and now they're back on a declining cycle. So until they get rid of the CEO, I think America has stood strong. We're sick of this crap, and this is not from the right side or the left side. To have this kind of pull on a company, it takes a lot of people. This is not politics. This is heritage. And a lot of people came up and spoke up a lot. So much so that we had from our left side of the aisle, they started screaming, "We want Aunt Jemima back." They're working right now. The people I've said, if we can get Aunt Jemima back, and they're like, "Unity, come on, like we helped you, you help us. We want Aunt Jemima back, and we want the Redskins back." So that's why I said, if we can get Aunt Jemima back and the Redskins name back on their sports logo, then we'll have the trifecta of kicking woke, because it's not good for any side. And I think we proved that. Like, again, this is a right-left issue, and right and left stood up. And so I hope that it continues. That's my spiel. So Emmanuel Haro, we know that the father spoke from behind bars, but I think it's important that we go back and listen to this again as we start approaching. We've got one more little tidbit of information, and it's related to Rex Heuermann, the Gilgo Beach serial killer, accused serial killer. And it sounds like there's a lot of DNA evidence now that is pointing in his direction. Well, apparently there's some new techniques in DNA, and we are a true crime channel. So for me not to run that story would be ludicrous, because the majority of our stories have DNA components in it. Give me just a minute before we go to this next one. Let me make sure I'm reading everybody. Red Cougar, thank you. I gave a Cracker Barrel back when it first opened. When you ordered the ham, you got a platter. Yes. They cut it down to hardly fit. Yes, I know. Just thin. They just keep taking. And I know that prices rise, but there are just some businesses, like even Cracker Barrel, that has the ability to increase their price a little bit, And I don't know this is my problem, is these idiots. They have no idea what they're feeding us. All they look at is cost, And at the end of the day, I am a consumer, and I would rather pay a little bit more money and keep the quality of food than pay the same amount of money for less quality food. Or even worse, to keep it that price. I would rather pay just a little bit more to have fresh food. And that's what we were doing. We were going to Cracker Barrel because we knew it was fresh food. And when you are on the road and you're on, a 2,000-mile journey, the last thing you want to do is just fill your body with fast food. It does all. Listen, I travel all over the country. The reason why I don't eat a lot of fast food on the road is because it upsets your stomach. The movement, the constant being in the car, the fatigue that comes with it, plus all that grease and soda on your belly. It's not a good mix on the road. You need healthy, nutritious food, and that is what Cracker Barrel offered, in my opinion. And they stripped that away. Oh, I love Amish restaurants. Amish restaurants are the best. One of our local Amish restaurant here ended up closing, and we have to go to Sarasota now to get Amish food. But we used to have an Amish dinner here. Oh yeah, I forgot Denny's. Denny's is all right. I don't have a problem with Denny's, but I think Denny's has been struggling quite a lot as well. Whenever I go to Denny's, I don't recall, except a few stores. Like I did go to a place in Orlando, right by Disney though, because we were protesting Disney, and they were always packed. But other than that, like the one here in Manatee County, I feel bad for the waitresses. I know they have to have they've been open for literally decades. So obviously they're continuing business and they're able to keep their doors open, but Waffle House is consistent. Yeah, that's true. Yep. I agree with that. Waffle House is pretty good. I like Waffle House, but again, I love their hash browns. Like I can make a meal out of just their hash browns. Like I don't need anything else but the hash browns scattered, capped, smothered, and chunked. That is my go-to at Cracker Barrel, but it's still fried food. But you know what? When I go to Cracker Barrel, it's a toss because I might get fried food, I might get dumplings. It just depends. But you know what I always have? I always have one biscuit and one cornbread, right? I always get the mix. I get one biscuit and one cornbread. I love their cornbread and I love their biscuits. I would lose my crap if I walked into a Cracker Barrel and I got a biscuit I could slam on the freaking table and not break. I would be livid. It's like, I'm not eating this crap, And that's what you need to do. This CEO screwed this company up, and we just have to acknowledge it. All right, guys, getting on with Emmanuel. This is stuff that you guys already heard, but we are going to, I don't need to get past, we just need to get past, yeah, I think we're going to be watching the whole thing. We'll be breaking this down.
Father of missing baby Emmanuel Haro. Is he speaking out for the first time from behind bars? Now, it's been almost 3 weeks since Jake and Rebecca Haro told police that their infant son had been kidnapped from a store parking lot. Following searches at their home, police arrested the couple and they've been charged with the murder of their 7-month-old baby. But still, there's no sign of baby Emmanuel. This is what authorities believe has happened to him.
Do you believe you know how baby Emmanuel died or was killed?
Now, we've been kind of going toe-to-toe with the local government here, Riverside, because they decided to put their foot in their mouth, which I'm going to say they put their foot in their mouth because we're finding out a lot of stuff that's just not good in this whole community. But there was a question here. Oh, thank you. Thank you, love. Show some love to BHB. Yeah. Rumors going around about Jake actually. Ooh. That's why they can't find his. Oh my goodness. Well, let's just hope that's rumors. Now, we did hear, based on his MO, he's a beater and a shaker and a smacker, that type of abuser. So I do believe that there were, because we did hear about power equipment. So we were kind of already prepared for something like that. Why did that go down? We were kind of prepared for something, along those lines already. If we find out that, I mean, we do have to express and explain a pool of blood, because based on his MO of prior children and prior baby abuse, and we have to remember this is, because I was watching Vinnie Politan, and he had I was going back through some of the old stuff that I may have missed or didn't watch, in its entirety. And a few of those were the court TV stuff, the Vinnie Politan conversations where he had several people on, and I really liked it. I got a lot of information. But one thing that was a takeaway, it's different between child abuse and baby abuse. This man was a baby abuser. I did not agree with his, one of his panel people. I believe she was a psychologist, or something like that. And she said basically that they get off on knowing how many times they've got away with it. Like, I'm not familiar with baby abuse, but I'm familiar with the type of people that abuse people. And we know it's related to power and control, that they have the need to have this power and control over you. But to be thinking that they're doing it because they know they can get away with it, and they've gotten away with it all this time, I don't think that's in the back of their head. I really, for whatever reason, I don't ever think that is, if it is, it's lower level. Like, it has nothing to do with how many times, in my opinion, they get away with it, because the mentality of it is power and control. So not thinking about how many times they've gotten away with the power and control, but the power and control. That's just my opinion. And my opinion doesn't necessarily mean that everything's right, but I just disagreed with that. I thought about it. I played the tape through when I heard it, and I kept thinking, obviously she's a professional, which you guys know sometimes I do go against professionals like law enforcement out there in Washington, and with the Travis Decker case, I always thought he was within 5 miles of those girls deceased. It looks like, nobody would listen. I was hopeful. And then finally, they started listening, and they decided the FBI listened, and they decided to shut down the area and go back out there to see if they could find them. And they did a very thorough search of about 1,000 square miles. Thank you, Salty Mom. Salty Mom became a member of the crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. So, let's see here. Our Nightbot is working. I kind of like the Nightbot. Why don't you like the Nightbot, Peggy? Peggy's like, really? The Nightbot? Oh, and I forgot. Brenda. Thank you. Good gracious. Brenda sent me Tony. I don't worry about coffee anymore. The coffee club has been sponsored. God bless you. Brenda sent Bullhorn Betty some, she likes me wired. She likes me a little wiry. So she sends me Tony's espresso. I love it. I never had Tony's before Brenda sent it to me, and she's like, you gotta try this coffee. It's the best coffee. And I'm thinking, I've heard that before, right? But it's so smooth. It's a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Right? It's smooth. It's smooth, baby. So I just want a big shout out to Brenda. Thank you for keeping Bullhorn Betty pumped with caffeine, baby. Pump me up. Aw, thank you, Sonia. Showing some BHB love. 'Cause I'm a love machine. Mainly because of night, we were watching LL Live. It was terrible. Oh, gotcha. And in my opinion, baby wasn't settling, maybe crying, lost his... That's kind of where I was. That's where I was. But you know what? Strategic Eyes and Mike Hestron here, they believe it wasn't just one time and then boom, he's gone. They think it was progressive, and actually the Strategic Eyes believes something even a little different. He says, you know what, this child was most likely abused so much that his body had been giving out. And like the night that maybe this all happened, he may not even have been injured that night. They put him to bed and, he was deceased when they went in there to check on him or something like that, where they didn't do anything to him. He just finally succumbed to his injuries. Because remember, he was getting the crap beat out of him and he wasn't going to a doctor. I mean, we look at the face of his mother. She was getting the crap beat out of her. Everybody was covering this family abuse up. Guys, don't do it. If you're part of that clan that don't like being in anybody's business, don't do it. Not when it comes to babies. You guys don't want to deal. Nightbot is a lover. Maybe I need to put a message in there. PHP is a love machine, so show me some love. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I forgot to put one of those alerts in there. How stupid. How stupid. If you guys are here, we got like 452 people here. You guys get get entertained, be educated, and we get to go through all the crap of society. But at the end of the day, I try to do it with a little grace. Sometimes I'm a winner chicken dinner. Sometimes I'm just not. And that is a true statement. True statement. So, Rod says it. Let me go back up to Rod's comment. Rod says, in my opinion, baby wasn't settling, maybe crying. He lost his shit. Baby Haro died at the time she received them bruises. Then up with the scenario at the story. You know what? I do believe he was injured when she got the bra. I think there was a big bra in the house. And we're hearing about substances. I knew that there had to have been substances. You guys know that there's a few things that I'm strong when I do my assessment. And I just, even though I don't have, the evidence to support it, I know that it's there somewhere. So I'm constantly looking for it and listening for it and stuff like that. Because I go through a lot of stuff to analyze these cases initially. Sometimes I'm accurate. Sometimes I need a little work. Sometimes I have several different theories because, it could be several different paths forward. But that's where we're at. In this particular case, I am uncertain whether he survived a few days before losing his life, because they say the 5th. And we know that we have a pawn shop owner that clearly saw her with black eyes on the 3rd. We have a video. I've seen video of her at the funeral, and it appears that she does, in fact, have those black eyes with makeup covering them. We know how good her makeup is, how good her full coverage makeup is, because she was able to paint away a second black eye off of her face in order to report her son as abducted, because she only needed one black eye. However, she was observed with 2 black eyes. We didn't see that second black eye until she was coming out of the interrogation room, and that was the first time I saw the second black eye, and then her mugshot. Her mugshot, you see that second black eye like there is no tomorrow. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. He's harmed the baby, the blood, the alleged saw, the house fire. There's something with that house fire too. That whole area seems like it was some sort of a compound of sorts. We all have a moral obligation to protect babies and children. Absolutely, because they're innocent. They can't. They're at the mercy of the abuser. The only people that will protect them is the public at large, because their home environment's so toxic. It's going to lose their life, and just like this case. And it really makes me angry, because California in general just needs to clean up. And to have, and for me to hear a DA up here blaming a judge when he's also part of the problem, it just unnerves me. It just unnerves me. If you're going to blame somebody else, take personal responsibility as well, because it's all of their faults. All of them. All of them. Even Mr. Chad Bianco. It's all of their faults. So I don't really have a whole lot that I can say about all that. So, oh, thank you, Billy B. Betty is a love machine. Up. I hit the liar button. I hit the liar button. You can't make it up on the Bullhorn Betty channel. You just can't make it up. Aw, thank you, Colette. It's been a while. Love it, love it. Renee, thank you. Thank you for being an 11-month member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I completely agree with the moral obligation. Yes. Yeah, we all have a moral obligation. I don't care where you come from. If he accidentally rolled on the baby, first of all, let's play this tape through, okay? If a father rolled on his baby and accidentally suffocated him, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to call law enforcement. Why? Because they know that their history is bad and they don't want any improprieties. They don't want them thinking anything. And I'm sorry, they wouldn't. The mentality is not, oh my God, I got in trouble for hurting a baby once before. Let's go ahead and throw him in a garbage can and just pitch him off the side of the highway. Normal people don't think that way, okay? The only reason why they're thinking that way, let's be honest, is because they know that child exhibits a whole mess of injuries. We already saw the face, okay? The face is unrecognizable from this baby when he was born. Unrecognizable. Unrecognizable. Half of his face crushed in on his eye. The other face, it looks swollen like he had just gotten hit when that picture was taken. I keep wondering how many times they were talking back and forth about the injuries that they didn't take him to the hospital for. I bet you anything those are in text messages that law enforcement got their hands on. I almost guarantee it. Because they said they have overwhelming evidence. And I keep wondering, what is the overwhelming evidence? So hold on, let me move this up. Hold on, I need to get to my chat box. Chat, there we go. Let me move this up so you guys can see the whole thing. There we go. We'll move it over a little bit. There you go. So it says, I just sent you an email. Important information on Devlin. This is a start. Just want him found. I knew they were sketchy. Love you, Betty. Okay, let's see. So let's see here. Message, email, okay. Why am I not seeing? I'm not seeing your. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Okay, here it is. I got it. Got it. Oh, wow, this is interesting. Ew. Are those the parents? I can tell you right there, they got some problems. Did they drink? That father looks like he's a drinker. Can you send me the live number 1 and number 2? I'd like to review them. I won't be able to review them now, but I'll review them and put them up on the show. All right, let's get moving because I got a lot of stuff to present for Sebastian Rogers. So let's get, I'm going to go ahead and play this.
And is there anything you can share?
The filing in this case reflects our belief that baby Emmanuel was abused, a victim of child abuse over time, and that eventually, because of that abuse, he succumbed to those injuries.
Now, Jake Haro reportedly joined investigators in the search for baby Emmanuel, but still no sign of him. And in the interview with the Southern California News Group, Jake would not confirm that he helped in the search, but insisted that he's innocent and has been completely cooperative.
Well, there's no way. There's no way he's innocent, obviously. But we do know that law enforcement, says the reason why they were out on Highway 60 is for some type of cooperation. Period. They were out there because Jake brought them out there. That's what they said. It wasn't something that they, because there's different types of operations or techniques that law enforcement use to elicit, people's responses. Oh, thank you, Cathy. Oh, Cathy's from across the pond. Oh, it's nice to see you, love. Let me get down there. I just seen it pop up on the thing. Oh, thank you. I wonder if they had anything to do with his brother's death to make it look like he had. That's kind of where I was going with that whole video that we were showing yesterday of the brother's friend. It was really weird because the brother's friend said, look, he wasn't like outside of some pot. I mean, he wasn't involved in substances like that. But you know what? We don't know how long the time is from him coming back from Las Vegas or Nevada to his brother, and if his brother was all strung out on it and whatever, he may have gotten it's very easy to do when you have siblings, right? Siblings can kind of, say, oh, you haven't tried this. Oh, you got to try this. This is so much better than the pot, blah, blah, blah. And then you never know because it only takes one time, or maybe one time they actually had a great time and then they did it a second time. Next thing you know, their boat sunk. It happens just that quickly. Could that have happened? Potentially, but yeah, you're right. I mean, they were being looked at from everything that I've heard from people out there, that they were being looked at in the death of his brother, Hector. But Hector died of an OD. Rebecca's nephew died of an OD several years later. Are they the suppliers of that? I mean, could they be brought up on those charges, second degree, if they were the one that supplied and the person lost their life? In Florida, you go to jail for second degree murder here for that. And they have been charging dealers, and if they can track that back to a specific dealer, that dealer's done. They're off the street. They go to jail. They do not pass go, and they go to jail for significant amounts of times. If we catch them being the deliverer and the dealer of the narcotics that lost their life here in Florida, we do not play. You go to jail. You go to jail. And we put a lot of people in jail just for that. So, yeah. If Sumner County needs to resign, Sumner County failed Sebastian Rogers. Yeah, well, we definitely know that they did. We definitely know that they have failed this child in so many ways.
When asked what he would say to his baby Emmanuel,
much like the people out here in California failed Emmanuel. Actually, no, they didn't. They failed Emmanuel by failing his sister, Promise Faith. That's how they failed. They failed these children way before these children were even born. They were already in a failing system. They were already in a system that was not set up for success.
He responded, "I love you, buddy." So let's talk about this case. Let's bring back in retired NYPD Detective Rob O'Donnell, also formerly with the NYPD, private investigator Manuel Gomez with Black Ops Private Investigators. Manuel, let me begin with you, please. Where does the search go from here?
Well, unfortunately, I think the search will still continue in the area where he originally took them, because as I stated in the past, there's mountain lions, there's vultures, there's coyotes that are in that area.
So, it makes you wonder, is the whole garbage a red herring? Is the whole dumpster a red herring? Even if the Perkins operation went on, right? How about if he was because let me make sure I got my names right. Sheriff Dykes said he's an experienced baby abuser. He said child abuser, but it's a baby abuser. He's an experienced baby abuser. That came out of Sheriff Dykes' own mouth. So if they did a Perkins operation, had they previously done a Perkins operation? Were they aware of a Perkins operation, or he was aware of this Perkins operation before it happened? What is his experience, his level of this experienced baby abuser classification that Sheriff Dykes gave him? Betty says, oh, Betty, great news. Arizona CPS has an investigation opened up on them. Who is them? Hold on. Let me get my, little, why is this thing not moving? There we go. Sorry. Sometimes I have to trigger the thing. Let me go up to chaos. I believe brother was going to go to the police about Emmanuel. I don't think Emmanuel was born when he died. But the daughter was. Their young daughter was there. So I think this is what I'm talking about here, right there. So what's the Arizona one? Let me go up and see if I can make out. I believe he was part of his brother's death. I do too. I think he either sold him the drug. Where would his brother get this stuff in anyways? It didn't sound like he was from that area or had a lot of connections, that all the connections would have been his family. But I didn't see your other one, Chaos. I'm sorry. General, in general being investigated. Okay, CPS in general is being investigated. I hope they are. Because it's becoming bullcrap. I mean, we are paying the American people, the taxpayers here, are paying god-awful amounts of money for our children and protective services on a national level, on local levels, on state levels, just ungodly amounts of money we're shoving to these the Department of Children and Family Services. And they're pissed. The results. There's no flipping results. Like, where, we want to see a return on our investment. The American people in this open pocketbook crap it's over. We want to see where our money's going, and we want to make sure that it's being best effect. Like, I'm done. These children have been left to slaughter. We're throwing a lot of money to prevent this stuff from happening, yet it keeps happening over and over and over again. Then we find out that CPS was already in the home. It's a failure. I don't know, we can cut it anyway. It's a failure. There is not one positive thing from people that have completed the program to the children that go into the program. There's nothing positive about it. People should be going in there and writing 5-star reviews because they just got those children out of the worst case scenario and put them in the best possible scenario for success for the rest of their life. We should be having 5-point stars on the Department of Children and Family Services, and we're barely scratching a 0.5, a half a star. I don't know about you, but I don't like wasting money on stuff like that. I want to know that my money is being effectively used to save children. And where I'm sitting, I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that warm, fuzzy feeling like I feel in Florida right now over finding 60 of our children being trafficked. 90% of our kids we just found in the state of Florida. Every single state across this country should be doing the same type of work. Every single state, and if they're not, they're already failing. So let's go over here and listen to what he has to say about Jake. I think this is pretty interesting because it does make me feel like Jake may not have used the garbage can. I still believe if they're not out there searching, physically out there in this area searching, then they don't believe he's there. And may actually think he's in a garbage, but they did physically take him out there, and I don't see them not clearing at least a 1 to 2 mile radius from that area if they believe there is some type of forensic data that puts them out there. Now, mind you, out there in that Moreno Valley, that's not too far from the Big Five. That's not too far from that church. The church was just around the corner from the Big Five. So this is all in that area. So I kind of think that that he's over in that area. And I think they put him over in that area to set up this entire abduction. I don't know. I don't know.
That would clearly take a baby, and I doubt he dug a deep grave. And unfortunately, there's a lot of predators in that area that would take the remains of that body. But the one thing about this case that nobody's talking about and needs to focus on is the outrageousness of the judge's decision, Julie. This case shows the red flags in our judicial system, that there's currently no guardrails in place to remove a judge who is judicially incompetent. Right now,
he is speaking everything that we have been speaking for days, right? We believe at this point that, I mean, with the lawfare going on, and it was going on in the district courts, now we have federal judges that are, you know, exceeding their authority, putting in orders on government levels, you know, national security levels, which I think they need to be sued. I think they need to be brought up on, you know, reprimands and other stuff. This idea that our judges aren't held to the same accountability, that they have pure immunity when they can wreak havoc on communities, this is enough. Enough is enough. We've got babies that need to go back to Guatemala to their families, and we've got a judge that's preventing children from being put back with their families over politics. That woman should be removed and brought up on charges for dealing with, for monkey effing with our national security and reunification of minor baby children that deserve to be with their blessed parents, not over here being trafficked by some smuggler to smuggle somebody else in. And this is what we've got. And then now we have this stuff. That's just one example. Now we have these judges over here giving sweetheart deals to baby herders. Now we got a dead baby. We need these judges stripped of some type of immunity. We need to make it easier for us to hold these people accountable and strip them of their robe when they cause and create these violent and lethal situations. And that's what the judges are doing. They're creating these violent situations for our people. And we have got to find a mechanism to get them the hell out of their bench. I don't care. To get them off the bench and hold them accountable civilly or criminally. Who's the judge? Well, this was a Moore guy. I can't remember his first name, but we ran a story on him a couple days ago. Maybe the end of last week, possibly. Maybe the end of last week, I believe. So, yeah. What experiment do I Google to look into? I don't understand. What do you mean experiment? Are we paying them to follow protocol? We're paying them to follow protocols, period. Yeah, but nobody's following protocols. And not only that, but it needs to be standard from state to state. When you go to Walmart, you go to Walmart, you expect the same stuff there. When you go to McDonald's, they're designed the same, they sell the same. When you go to Burger King, they're designed the same, they sell the same. Our Department of Children and Family Services should be just like that. All policies, all procedures should be the same from one organization to another organization. There should be a national database so there's no child that could possibly ever fall through the crack. But we have got to, as a society, you know, if they can strip the immunity from law enforcement that has to make split-second decisions, life and death decisions, yet these judges get to actually sit on it, research it, and still make terrible decisions, they should be held to a higher standard than our law enforcement officers, because they can kill just as many lives as law enforcement. So let's not get it twisted. Let's not get this twisted.
Judges across the United States can be unlimited decisions overturned for improper rulings, and they still stay on the bench. Right now, our system relies on the public's belief that our judicial system is fair, just, and equitable. It is not just when we leave a justice like this still on the bench. He needs to be removed.
I agree. I think that is what most of us think should happen. We absolutely believe that this judge should be removed. He should never preside over any family case ever. He should not be a judge. He should not be a judge. He looked at that child and said, "You are not worth justice." He gave the criminal more consideration than an innocent child. That is putrid. That is putrid. And to think that this same judge is still on the bench, it's insulting to the American people. And I don't care what our Congress, federally, state, or otherwise does, it's time to remove some of that protection. Because it's always funny when you start removing protection and people say, "Oh, good gracious, I could be personally held accountable for this decision." It's very interesting how their decisions automatically just change. All of a sudden, they're not being so philanthropic with their rulings. They're actually having to rule correctly. Why? Because they could be held accountable. That's what we need. We need a little skin in the game. Because I'm tired of the only people having skin in the game are the law-abiding citizens around this country, but not the people that are making these bullcrap laws, not the people that are enforcing some of these laws. We need to start holding them accountable on where they can be sued criminally or civilly for their decisions. Make them start having to get, insurance on themselves like every other company has to get insurance on themselves. General liability insurance. It's time for every judge to start having to carry it if you're going to be in office. If you're going to be up there, I don't care if the state has to pay for it or not, but it's time for us to start stripping some of that immunity and start making sure that the public abroad is protected from these ruthless judges that don't care about whether they kill you or they kill me. Now we have some new information in some new DNA methods in the Gilgo Beach murder trial. If you guys don't know who this is related to Rex Heuermann. He was on the run a lot longer than he should have been. He was a serial killer out there in the late 90s, early to mid 2000s. And then it became apparent that the commissioner in the area was so corrupt he would not work with the feds. Sound familiar? Sounds like Sumner County and Hopkins County, doesn't it? Sounds like Sumner County and Hopkins County don't want to mess with the feds. We'll rather make sure that our children don't get solved and they stay abused and their abusers, their murderers stay out on the streets because we don't want the FBI. That was another guild that was out there in New York. We found out that the reason why the commissioner refused to work with the FBI is because he was so corrupt. And he allowed these cases not to be solved for a decade. Sound familiar? Kind of like Hopkins County with Summer Wells' case? Yep. Sounds funny. A lot of corruption in Tennessee that Governor Bill Lee, and Senator Marsha Blackburn don't want to address. I say hell to the nah. We are not voting for either one of them until they start addressing the crime in the state of Tennessee. The Tennesseans are sick of being put up for slaughter while you're trying to save the farmlands. Okay? I can tell you when it comes to personal safety and farmland, I'm going to choose personal safety as a topic of discussion always over farmland. Always. Yet she is talking about what? Farmland. Not law and order. Not the corruption. Not finding ways to weed out the corruption in her state. They're hunky-dory. They're perfectly fine. They're perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Let's listen to this new DNA.
On mitochondrial DNA in California because it had never been introduced before. Yes, exactly. And one of the issues that we raised back then was similar to the issue that they're raising right now. It had never been admitted in the courtroom before, and the database that they were using both in California 25 years ago or 20 some odd years ago, and what they plan to do here is a very small database that is numbered in the thousands, not the hundreds of thousands, and they are taking that database, I think in this case 20 some odd hundred people, and they're using that to extrapolate out to get the millions or billions or quadrillions of numbers that you get when you replicate the DNA and then try and test it. I think it is not scientifically accepted on the extrapolation they're going to do, but remember, there also is another nuance to this. They have used the more traditional method on some of the other evidence that they've collected.
So what I'm hearing is, and this is, you know, the only way you can get new technology or new DNA type of testing and expertise that's different from what that has been accepted. Like he said, you know, when DNA was first introduced, the first case, they had to argue its scientific abilities. It had to go through court and show them that this is more accurate than your blood typing, that this is more accurate than a fingerprint. They had to go and present all of that to the courts in order for DNA to be the widely accepted resource they have right now for case solving and paternity and other things. But it all had to start somewhere. I don't know how comfortable I am with them starting this on the Gilgo Beach serial killer, but I feel a little more confident that they used traditional testing as well, which is probably going to be their like safety net in this case, which is, I'm glad they're using a safety net in this case. But for this type of case to be the one that they present this new DNA testing to, I have to be honest, it's making me nervous. It's making me nervous because this case has already been so butchered because of the commissioner that was so corrupt that he literally allowed these people to go without justice to benefit himself, because he was going to go to jail. He was that corrupt. And even after he lost his position and his corruption was exhibited and known, he still didn't go right to jail. It took them finding him in a freaking field or in a park with a prostitute, you know, doing things that he shouldn't have been doing before he finally made it to jail. That's how corrupt this police commissioner was, and he was running that area for a decade. And look how long it took for them to get the corruption out of their area. A decade. A decade. And I'm trying to keep this from being a decade, but when you don't have a governor, when you got a governor that has his head in the sand, and senators out in Tennessee that have their heads in the sand, who's making the decision to get all this corruption out of their state? There's a level of corruption that's going to exist no matter what. This is politics. It will always be what it is. But when you either have a highly corrupted area or, you know, little spots of corruption. I like seeing little spots. Like this person over here is corrupted, would, you know, do this for a buck, right? This person will push anything through if you do this, right? So we do have levels of corruption in I would like it all to be extinguished, but at the end of the day, the problem is in Tennessee, it's high level corruption. It's corruption from the top down. And some of these, and it's because they've been able to get away with it for so many years. But now that there's the internet, now that there's social media, now that they haven't gotten with the times to realize that we're finding this corruption and these corrupt practices much easier, and we're able to expose them and get the information out a lot further. And I believe that is the case. So I wanted you guys to see that related to the DNA. I don't know how comfortable I am with, you know, all that. So now we're going to go ahead and get on over to X, to the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. If you guys don't know who Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is, he is, let me see if I can, do I have him up here? There he is. That's kind of a rendering of him versus his actual picture, but he was 15 years old when he disappeared from inside his locked home, where he was allegedly with only his mother. She said she put him down around 9 p.m. She made him go to bed around 9 p.m. on Sunday. She stayed up, talked to her husband until about midnight. She says about midnight, he told her, he woke her up from the conversation they were at because she was snoring in the phone, which is weird. She was studying. You guys don't know the story. Allegedly, after she put her son to bed, she was studying for her school. She was talking on the phone with her husband. I don't know how you study and talk on the phone with your husband. And then about 13 minutes after she got on the phone with her husband, she started falling asleep on the couch. And apparently she fell asleep on her husband. And he was on the other end of the phone for like an hour and a half without a conversation because she fell asleep on the phone. And so he's like, oh, hey, you got to get up, put the dogs away and go to bed. And she's like, okay, well, that was around midnight. Okay, well, it was around midnight. The problem is there was a lot of movement inside that house from 9:30 to 11:30 that was caught on those cameras across the street, across the street from the front door that allegedly Sebastian Rogers walked out of, but they were able to catch the movement on the inside of the house, but apparently the camera wasn't working in that split second that the door opened and Sebastian walked out and turned around and locked the door behind him. It missed all that. But it did get the silhouette inside of the house, inside of the dining room area at the front of the house. So Sebastian's room's on one side of the front door, the dining room's on the other side of the front door. And what the cameras across the street picked up is that they saw somebody get up in the living room and walk across the house and back to the back of the house, which is allegedly Chris and Katie's bedroom. They're in the back of the property. And then all of a sudden they said the house went dark. And then their camera picks up a silhouette peeking out of the front window. And that was between 11 and 11:30. This is important because originally Katie told one of the passerbys that morning, this is not what she said online, this is what she's told to a private citizen in her community. And it was basically she was in the kitchen and she heard a thud in the room around 11 p.m. And hollers in there, I don't know what you're doing, but go to sleep. As you know, that had been walked back. I think it went to 10, then it went to 10:30. Now we're stuck at 10. I believe the latest is that happened at 10. 10 p.m. is when she heard the thud. But that's not what she originally told the neighbor. That's not what she originally told the neighbor. I think it was either 10:30 or 11. I think it was 11, the one that Bobby told us about. Later, we learned that there was flashlights that came from the side of their house to an unknown car. One of them were carrying a large blob. We do have some enhanced photos, and those images appear to be Katie Proudfoot leaning into that car. We have a side shot of somebody that appears to be the same somebody that was sitting at the Texas Roadhouse with Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. It was a perfect side view. We'll go through those things once I get everything set up on here, but you guys know we're running from a new system. Nothing is saved in this system. Everything has to be put in this system, and it took me over a year to get StreamYard the way it was. So now we got this. So thank you, Daisy Duke, becoming the newest member of this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket and your padded room and welcome aboard. And let me just take a few moments to all the people that have been supporting. We love it, and we love you. We love you. Wow. So Melanie says, sending love to you, Betty, and everyone. It's cold out this morning. Wah, wah, wah. Well, it's not cold out in Florida. Thank you for rubbing it in. No, I'm just joking. Praying for all the missing children get found. Thank you. We've got Sonia. Why isn't this working? Okay, let's working. Oops, I didn't mean to do that either. That's a little too, hold on, guys. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay. All the fun stuff I do. Don't mind me. Oh, we'll be just fine. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, let's get back over here. It's not letting me do my, it's not, did I break down again? Oh, there we go. Okay, finally, it got back. So sorry about that, guys. I've been having some problems, some little tech problems. So Sonia's saying, show BHB some love. Let's hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Salty Mom says, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, thank you for being with us for 4 months. Billy B, 11 months. It's kind of getting a little hinky here. I'm not sure what's going on here, but we'll get through it. Billy B, Betty's the love machine. Colette, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Oh, somebody must have gifted. That's what I just realized. We got Daisy Duke up there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We got Colette. Thank you for the fox, my friend. You are foxy yourself. We got Renee for 11 months. Thank you, Renee. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. And I think we can go down. Can we go down? Can we go down? There we go. Okay. We got a Renee for, oh, shoot. Okay, so now we got you for 11 months. There we go. There we go. I got it. Panda Bear's mom said, just sent you a message. We got that. It's definitely sketchy. I'm going to look into it. Thank you so much for letting me know. I wonder if they had anything to do with the death of the brother, and that was related to Hector Haro, and I do believe that we are on to something with related to that. Kim reminds us Sheriff Sumner County needs to resign. Sumner County failed Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Daisy Duke, thank you so much for becoming the newest member of this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. And the gifted Bullhorn Betty membership. So whoever received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Daisy Duke thank you. And welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. Thank you all so much. Feeling the absolute love. Feeling the absolute love. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Now getting back here. Woohoo! Somebody got blessed. Woohoo! All right, so let's get back to our, okay, there we go. Let's get back to our show. Now we're going to bring up what At Night has to say here and what sparked this entire live, right? What sparked this entire live? So this is a public service announcement about the exploitation of and assault rampant in Sumner County, Tennessee. And I'm like, say what? Say what? What's going on in Sumner County? So as many of you guys know, this is kind of what prompted me to do some deep diving. And the deep dive we have done. So there's a lot of information that is not looking too swell for Sumner County. It just isn't. So let's keep reading. As we advance into the 4th phase of our investigation into the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, At Night has uncovered deeply troubling patterns involving individuals connected to the case, unrelated to the missing child's family. Oh, thank you, Nani. Why is my for whatever reason, my chat is freezing up. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. My chat's been freezing up, but I think I just reset it. Thank you, Nani. Thank you, thank you. And we got Amos. Oh, I didn't even see you. Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Thank you. So now we're hearing about this culture. It says a toxic culture of exploitation pervades Sumner County, infiltrating both its schools and its sheriff's office. This behavior is not only tolerated, but appears to be actively enabled and widespread. And I'm like, there's no way. We did some research on this community, didn't we? We did some research. No, we didn't. No, we didn't, folks. We urge whistleblowers with knowledge of the disturbing allegations from Hendersonville High School to reports of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office detaining abusing women under the guise of authority to come forward immediately. Contact us now. Is Sumner County dismissed allegations of child exploitation or labeled your child as a tattletale? What? For reporting misconduct? We want to hear from you. Victims exist. Multiple public filings expose the existence of the county's effort to conceal these grave injustices. Speak out. We're listening. You do not have to suffer in silence. And so there's a couple attachments here. And I'm like, whoa, S battery of defendant. What? And I'm like, okay, well, we got something here. Key individuals, school officials, although not named as defendants, several Hendersonville high staffs are central to the story. Coach James Beasley, head coach of a Hendersonville high school football team. He was the first school official notified of the incident. The complaint accuses him of minimizing the assault and using derogatory language, calling the victim a tattletale. Is this coach still employed? If yes, you are failing your whole damn community. But this is not the worst of it, folks. This is not the worst of it. We did go ahead and start looking into these cases. We did. These are publicly available documents. I suggest you all go check them out. There is stuff that was done at that school to a boy. Now, granted, it sounds like what they were trying to pass off as a prank, and that's what they need to understand, is it wasn't a prank. It was assault, okay? When you pull somebody's pants down in a gymnasium and they are exposed and a bunch of guys jump on him and take their hands and rub it from his naked top down to his bottom with pudding or anything else like that, that is not a prank. That is not a prank. And it needs to be, and this is where the problem is with Mr. Sheriff Snuggle Struggles, is they don't understand what sexual assault is or what it does to people. That's their problem. Sheriff Snuggle Struggles, if I came and took you and bent you over and rammed something up your A, how would you feel? Would you feel assaulted? Would you feel assaulted? How about if I did it in front of your whole blessed department? What would you do? I bet you would arrest Bullhorn Betty, wouldn't you? I bet you would arrest Bullhorn Betty if I took you and bent you over and made you my bee. Because you can't even handle me doing it literally from Florida. If I was literally next to you and bent you over and made you my bee, my ish, would I be in jail? Of course I would. Why? Because it's violent. Why? Because nobody should be touching your body. That's assault. unwanted touch. Nobody was held accountable. Clearly, they do not understand what sexual assault is. Again, another education issue, training issue, failure issue, which is common and prevalent in Sumner County. Interesting. Let's read the facts. On or about September 7th, 2022 through October, so September 7th through October 26th, Amanda Lauren Moore was serving a jail sentence at the Sumner County Sheriff's Department. Jeremy Michael Singleton is an employee, and in the course and scope of his employment with Sumner County Sheriff's Deputy Department was a deputy. Jeremy Michael Singleton used his position of authority to intentionally and with afterthought sexually A and B the plaintiff. During the plaintiff's incarceration, defendant Jeremy Michael Singleton assaulted the plaintiff by groping, grabbing, inappropriately touching, and kissing the plaintiff. All acts of having performed while defendant was acting in his capacity as an employee of Sumner County Sheriff Department. During the plaintiff's incarceration, she was to be transported to work as a work trustee to an off-site location from the jail in Sumner County. Plaintiff was a trustee in an animal shelter in Sumner County. During this transport, the defendant, he would make unwanted advances and assault her and batter the defendant, while, and I think they meant the plaintiff, while in the county vehicle, and also while at animal services. That defendant, Singleton, was allowed to transport the plaintiff alone, which gave him direct access, SA and SB, the plaintiff. Further, the plaintiff was publicly humiliated and embarrassed by jailers of the Sumner County Sheriff's Department once she reported the incidents above. So she was sick of being assaulted by this animal, and then she gets harassed by the department. After plaintiff reported the incident, Sumner County Sheriff's Department had her trustee job changed and moved to a department within the animal shelter, where she had to work with the defendant, Singleton's girlfriend, who was an employee of the animal shelter. You bastards. Do you guys think that this government cares about sexual assault? Do you think they have respect for women? Do you? Knock, knock, Sumner County. I'm talking to the blessed residents there. What in the hell is wrong with you? You know what? What is wrong with the blessed people that live in this county? This is the kind of crap you're fine with? Is this seriously what you're okay with in your departments? This is sick. You guys deserve what you're getting. When it comes knocking at your door, you won't do nothing about it, right? Because you haven't helped Seth worth a shit. And I'm talking about the ones that want to sit on and just get along to get along. The one that's allowing all these kids and people to be prey in your county because you want to be the popular person and vote with the group. You know, one of those people. You guys don't have any balls out there in Sumner County? Huh? Are you a bunch? What's wrong with you folks? This is not okay. And you guys knew about this, or did you not know about this? Which maybe you guys need to fire your local media. Maybe you need to fire your local media. Because if you're not hearing this stuff, that's their fault. This is sick. This is only one of them. We haven't even gotten to the gymnasium boy yet. We haven't even gotten to the coach yet. This is just in the sheriff's department. And so somebody goes and reports that I reported whenever they were roughhousing me in that same jail. I made them bring a sergeant down and take a report because of the bruises exhibited on my wrists. And you know what? When I did that, they made me feel like shit too. You know what I got to say to you? My Christian folks, cover your ears. Because my audience already paid for it. Fuck you! Not professional. Excuse me. Sorry. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because that's how I truly feel. That's how I truly feel about this county. It really is. It's how I truly feel about this county. As disgusting as my language is, that doesn't even put into perspective how I feel about the people that run this county. Doesn't even put into perspective how I feel about these people running this county. This is not the worst of it, folks. It's not the worst of it. Not the worst of it at all. So this is just one. And this is the assault of an inmate. And how she was made to feel reporting that assault. And then putting her with the girlfriend to be harassed all day. You wouldn't even know what to do with Bullhorn Betty. I rocked your world for you having me in jail for 19 hours. Think what I would have done if you did some bullshit like this to me. I hope she gets a shit ton of money. Because you know what? Maybe when the taxpayers are paying out their nose so much taxes because they're having to pay all of these mistakes, all of these lawsuits that your sheriff is getting you into. Maybe when you're taxed completely out of this world, maybe, just maybe, your county can realize your government needs to be changed. That it is a corrupted government in Sumner County. And everybody is prey. Women are prey in your county. Children are prey in your county. How do I know? Because I was prey in your county, and I followed the laws, dotted my I's, crossed my T's, and I was still violated in that county. Are you guys seeing a theme here? Sumner County just thinks that they don't have to follow the law or the rules. Or they can lie on affidavits. Lying Byington. That was a corrupt POS. Fat pig. We love Fluffy around here. We just don't like fat pigs. And she's a flippin' pig. Let's listen to this one. Mother Doe, Father Doe, on behalf of John Doe, their minor child. Sumner County School Board. I wonder if it exists in the school board too. If you are in Sumner County, I will tell you, do not hire a judge, do not hire an attorney in Sumner County. If you are facing any type of criminal stuff, do not give those Sumner County attorneys, they're corrupt. Hendersonville, like Terry Frizzell, he was corrupt. He was corrupt. I would never use Terry Frizzell. I don't care if that man was on fire. I wouldn't piss on him to put him out. I wouldn't piss on him to put it out. As a matter of fact, we're going to end up blowing up his reviews here in just a second. I'm not done with him yet. I'm not done with him yet. So now let's read this. Do you think this is going to be any better? I'm terrified. I'm terrified of what I'm going to read about a child. Terrified. Before football practice at Henderson High School, an otherwise normal Thursday fall afternoon, John Doe was tackled to the ground, helplessly pinned down by a teammate double his size. Double his size. John Doe's teammate proceeded to strip his pants and underwear down. Now, mind you, this is in front of somebody. This is in front of a teacher. We would expect our teachers to intervene, right? So let's finish reading this up here. Let's go back to page 1. I can get my page 1. The complaint says, strips his pants down, or strips his pants and underwear down, and touch and smears chocolate pudding inside his intergluteal cleft, basically from his buttocks to his, what I would refer to a hoo-hoo, but it's not a hoo-hoo, it's a ho-ho. I don't know what to call it. Insulting injury, to add insult to injury, the teammates and peers at Hendersonville High School continued to harass him after the assault. No child should have to endure the everlasting horror that resulted from an S assault, but that this assault took place in the context of a federally funded school is an unconstitutional disgrace. The assault could have been avoided in the first place if Sumner County schools had complied with Title IX obligations to outlaw prior incidences of harassment in the school programs to maintain an environment free and clear of harassment. So they're not even applying the Title IX. They're not even complying with it. Instead, Hendersonville High School was forced on winning and allowed Hendersonville High School was forced on winning and allowed its players to do whatever they wanted without consequences, including regularly stripping players' pants down and spanking each other's bare buttocks. That's inappropriate. There is no reason why a bunch of guys need to be in a locker room slinging their junk all over that locker room. I don't want to see it. I don't know. Maybe the coaches want to see it. I don't know. That is S assault. And it was done, and the player was made to feel like poop for reporting it, to the point that they had to file a complaint. Betty, are you telling me that it doesn't stop there? We got another one? I don't even know what this one looks like. It's jury demand. Let's see. Oh, that's the Millersville Police Department. Okay, we don't need that one. So I decided to do some deep diving into Mr. Craddock, finding out who's all the players, who are all helping him stay corrupt. Who are all helping him stay corrupt. And I'm starting to look through here and starting to identify people, right? And so as I'm starting to identify people, I'm sitting here, well, who's this lady? Why is she taking a picture with him? So I'm starting to look. Oh, she's a news broadcaster, you see. Oh, so she's a news broadcaster. Oh, interesting. So now we don't just have a corrupt community. We've got all of these people, right? All of these people in the news. Remember that the same news that sanitizes all of our conversations about our demands, that our bleeding hearts, our begs from media to let people know how corrupt this county is so we can get stuff done and start coming together, and they sanitize that. They won't tell nobody that. They won't let your opinions be heard on their broadcast show. They try to censor you as the interviewee. I've seen it every single time I've ever given. I have to record what I say to mainstream media and put it out on my own channel, which obviously gets a lot more clicks and views than their channel does, which is a shame because it shows how corrupt news organizations are in the community. So we even have them coming up and showing Eric Craddock. They have no independence. They have nothing but bias. They sit here and protect this county, at the peril of the community. These news broadcasters don't care what they're doing to their community. They don't care who they have in charge, just as long as they get their next interview, as long as they can keep their jobs. That's all they care about. That's all they care about in Hendersonville. Can they keep their jobs? I don't play like that. Look, I'm on social media. We get in front of millions and millions of people. And politicians need us more than we need politicians. That's my stance on it. I will not back down. I'm sorry that mainstream media does not have that strength. You know, it's a shame that they don't have that strength. But they don't have that strength. I have that strength. Any independent commentator, any independent journalist, we don't have to bow down to any politician. We don't have to make any politician look good. We come here and we tell our truth to our audience. These organizations, news organizations, they're losing money by the droves because people are coming to us because they're sick and tired of it, and people are wisening up. These are the reasons why Sumner County is allowed to act so despicably behind the scenes, is because all of these a-holes that are up here behind these screens, mainstream media in the area, they don't hold them accountable. They give them a free pass to keep screwing the residents there. So the next time you guys are paying through the nose for your stuff, your taxes and everything else, thank your local mainstream media anchor. Thank your local mainstream media anchor, because they failed you. They failed you. Too many connections. Too many connects. Too many connections. Oh, my, I'm going to have to take my face off here. I came across this and I'm thinking, I'm thinking, oh, no, I took the wrong ones off. Hold on here. We want to take this off. Oh, who are these people? Who is this? Huh? Who is this corrupt piece of shit? Oh, we see one corrupt piece of shit right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Who's this corrupt piece of shit? Is that Ronnie Lawson? So we know two of the sheriffs out there in Tennessee. It makes you wonder, is all these men out here corrupt? I mean, we know the only two sheriffs that we're dealing with right now are in this picture, and both of them are corrupt as shit. How many more of these a-holes behind them and around them are also corrupt? I'm interested. I'm interested. Oh, baby, I'm interested. So now we have a photo with two officers. Two officers that have been corrupted. That man right there had a son that liked diddling with children in church. He has a son that likes diddling with children in a church. We had one boy out in his community in Hopkins County that had child pee on their computer. Not participation, just looking, right? Just looking. That guy got 8 years in prison in the same area. Around the same time, his son was arrested for actually being the participant, not just on the sidelines watching it on his computer, actually the one that would be actually producing what that person online was reviewing. But they're not connected. I'm just trying to show you the differences. One was not an active participant. Ronnie Lawson's son was an active participant. He was supposed to do 20 years in jail, which was reduced to a year, and his son was released after diddling with multiple children. He was released after 6 months. Meanwhile, Summer Wells' case still has not been solved. Oh, yeah. If you didn't recognize Ronnie Lawson's name, he's the sheriff in the Summer Wells case. Hey, but you know what? Mike Lee and Marsha Blackburn, they don't see a problem. They think they need to save the farmland. They need to save the farmland, not the families. Excuse me, not the kids or the women, right? Because, I mean, women are just, side pieces for sheriffs, right? They throw you in jail. They want to give you a little, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. Disgusting. I keep wondering about that girlfriend. How many women, what did he transport that he actually came and kissed you after? You want to harass another woman? I wonder how many people had it and would have been like me and probably just decked somebody. Right? You go through the proper chains of command, and when you're not getting anything done, like me, I'll push it to that level. Right? I'll if things aren't getting done the right way, I'll do it the wrong way and get a lot of attention to it. How many people were thrown in jail longer because they weren't taken seriously while they were being essayed inside jail, and they got longer sentences and had to deal with it? I want to know that. How many, Sumner County? How many women did you violate in your sheriffs and in your jails? If anybody from Sumner County is watching my video and you have been sexually assaulted at the hands of the jail staff or any sheriff in Sumner County, or Hopkins County for that matter, please reach out to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, or, to be honest with you, Nick the Hat I'd like to know. So I'd say call, and I keep saying Nick the Hat, but at night. Call at night and tell them the story, but then reach out to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'd like to hear your story. I don't need to share your name. I got no reason to put you in the public light. Unless you want to be in the public light. I don't want to keep you, if you have your voice and you want to use it and you want to get stuff out there, I'll definitely give you a platform to do that. But that's the corrupt sheriff in Hopkins County that we want. That I threw my hands up and said, you know what, these people are so stupid in Hopkins County. They keep voting in the same crap. But to be honest with you, they're the poorest county. Hopkins County is the poorest county. Over 50% of his residents are below poverty. They have literally kept their foot on the neck of their people for all this time, and their people don't even realize it's their government yet. The people out in Hopkins County doesn't even realize they're being smothered by their own government. They don't know what they're doing out there. Sumner County, or not Sumner County, Tennessee is just a hot mess express from everything I've seen. There he is. Tell me that's not him. Tell me that's not him. It most definitely is. There he is right there in the same damn sunglasses. So we're kind of getting back to some of the other stuff I found in different articles. This one was out of the WKRN article that was done about them. But this is, I already showed you guys that. This is the problem I see out there. What's keeping I love not my local GOP recently, because we voted on our GOP, and then our state GOP came in and wiped all the people we voted in out. But the GOP in this area, I think, is what's breeding the corruption and keeping the good old boys in play. So if you guys want to make changes in your community, you're going to have to do what we did here in Manatee County. You're going to have to go to your local GOP and start working on getting in. Start doing all the stuff. They should be meeting once to twice a month, usually once a month they all meet. And you start voting. You start getting yourself into voting positions. How you find out your voting position is take out your voter's registration card, okay? Take out your voter's registration card. Look at what district you're in, and that's going to be your district. Now, you cannot be affiliated with the GOP unless you are a Republican, okay? If you're not a Republican and you are a Democrat, you need to do the same thing to your DNC, okay? Your local Democratic, if we have a GOP in there, they have to have a DNC there. So you're going to want to look into that, and you're going to need to get involved. The seat that you're going to be looking for is going to be your district in your area, okay? And that's found on your voter's registration card. So this is what I need my people in Tennessee to do. You guys got to get yourself positioned to make the biggest impact if we're going to get this crap under control. I can't do it. Okay, I'm involved in all these things in Florida. Okay, I'm a Florida resident, not a Tennessee resident. So if you guys want to get involved, you guys need to get involved. This is the closest thing you're going to get to being as involved as for politicians and who is going to be put on ballots and stuff like that. It's going to be these local GOPs and DNCs. Now you guys know on here I'm a major conservative. I am, I'm not real, but you don't see me dissing my Democrat counterparts because we all have a common goal on this show. And our common goal is to make this a safer place for our children, period. We're sick and tired of talking about it. I mean, we want to end domestic violence for our adults. But at the end of the day, our common goal is to make sure that when somebody hurts our child, well, one, it's preventable, and we do whatever we can do to prevent it from even happening. But moreover, if it does happen, we have the laws in place to put these people behind bars and put them behind bars for significant amounts of time. And we're seeing all of these, more than not, places that aren't taking these child issues seriously enough. Okay? So we all have to do our part. And guess what? It's a bipartisan part. So I don't really care what side of the aisle you're on. Okay? Make no mistake. I'm not changing my way of thinking. Right? But I am going to tell you what I will not put up with is corruption and it affecting our children. Now, we're all adults. If stuff happens to us, we'll advocate for that. But one thing that I have no tolerance for at all, zero tolerance is when it comes to our children. I don't care how you're corrupt with adults and everything. We're big girls and big boys. It's wrong. It's wrong. But don't mess with the kids. That's something I do not play with. The children, the kid causes, I don't care what you have to say. Throw me in jail, okay? You still won't shut my freaking mouth up. Okay? You can tie me to a speedboat and take me to Antarctica, and it won't put me far enough away where you're not going to hear my voice when it comes to our children. So this is where we're having problems out here, and not just Sumner County, but the whole state of Tennessee. So we need to get plugged into these places. Folks, we want to make changes in Tennessee. We've all agreed changes need to be in Tennessee. We've got a lot of people that live in the state of Tennessee. We need you guys to start putting your big girl boys, this is only for a couple years. Once we get some things changed, if you guys want to relax, relax. But at the end of the day, I can't do this for the state. I can do a lot. I can do a lot. I have a lot of ability to do a lot. But these type of things we can't help you with. You're voting and who you're putting in office. This is the only way I can help you. It's showing you where you need to plug yourself in, where you're going to have the best efforts to make the best decisions for your communities. It's in these government. These are the parties. Okay, these are the actual parties that you're at. When you put a D on your name or you put an R on your name, you're representing these parties. This is the GOP. This is the R side of the party, okay? When you see the ass instead of the elephant, that's the... I need to stop with my bias. I'm sorry. You're still going to have to put up with my BS, okay? I love you guys. You're still going to have to pull up my BS. But the one with the ass on it is for the Democrats, okay? I don't know if they intentionally did that or not. I didn't make the logo, okay? I didn't make the logos. I just want to make sure you guys aren't killing the messenger here. I didn't make the logo. So, it's all right. That is their logo. If you don't believe me, go check it out. It's an ass, okay? I'm from the country. Donkeys are asses for us. We don't call them donkeys. The only person that calls them donkeys that I know of is Ramsey, Gordon Ramsay. He'll call you a donkey instead of an ass. I'm not that kind. I need to stop. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It comes naturally, folks. It does. It comes naturally. But if you guys want to get involved, this is where you guys got to get involved. If we're going to make changes in Tennessee, this is where it starts. I can put the small groups together. I can put the phone banking together. I can put the door knocking together. I can do the social media advertisements, which is more effective than the mailers because everybody's on social media and they have to see it. So, we're there. But to make decisions and really get your people on the ballot, you've got to be connected with either the DNC or the GOP in your communities. This is where it starts. But I think that this is the problem. This right here is where the good old boy system is live and well. So if we can get in here and start making changes and start getting a path of good old boys is not going to get you elected anymore, then this is where we need to go. If we get plugged into here and you guys start getting some seats that are open, that are vacant, we can really start having some really good policies, good conservative policies going on in that area, which is, Republican dominant. So we need the people in the Republican Party to stand up and start doing what's right and start moving that corruption out of your county. It's going to take some time, but it's just, one vote at a time, folks. We don't need correcting a ship. It's not a 180. Okay, it takes some time to get that ship turned around. So we just need to start making certain steps now into this county so we can start taking and making sure we liberate the people of this county from their toxic, and I mean toxic government. So my friend, somebody I know. He's not my friend. I mean, I've had several conversations long before he became the Secretary of Defense. Pete Hegseth, you guys know. I've known him since he's been on Fox, and Fox News. I actually wanted to get my book signed. I have a book signed by him as well. Because back when we were going to the SAS stuff, we knew everybody, so they would leave the door open. It didn't open until like 9 o'clock in the morning. We were up at 6 o'clock in the morning, so we got in around 6 o'clock and we went on, Media Row. So we got to hang out with people like Pete Hegseth, and we had conversations. At this particular time, it was when they were trying to force, vax all of our military. Actually, not try, they did force vax all of our military. And my friend Pam that I was with, obviously Pete from the military, Pam's from the military. Her son was just going into the military. He was being forced to vax, and her and Pete were having this conversation on the vaxation of military personnel and their positions on it. And we got to sit and speak between the show, I think like 30 minutes with him. He was such a kind guy. He actually reached behind there, got a couple books out, and signed them for us. This was even before SAS even opened. And just a real down-to-earth guy. You know me, when I meet people belly to belly and I have a conversation and I gauge who they are as a person, once I have that opportunity, if I think you are a great person, you're a great person. I can tell you Pete, before he was in this position, was a great person. Why am I bringing this up? Because little does anybody know, you guys know we've been having a major campaigning for Sebastian online. On August 29th, which is just several days ago, Pete Hegseth decided to go out there and provide medals to Hendersonville City Police Department, not Sumner County, but Hendersonville Police Department. As you see, all the people there behind him are police departments, except Eric Craddock, okay? I think Eric Craddock, because he knew Pete was coming in, decided to go crash the show. I pray to God that if Pete was there and he had an opportunity to ask Eric Craddock anything, I hope he asked him, what in the F are you doing? What are you doing? Outside of this photo, I didn't see any photos of Pete shaking his hand. I didn't see, he's always on the backside of Pete Hegseth, and that's where he deserves to be. That's where he deserves to be. But I found it awfully odd that Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of Defense, is out there in the Sumner County area on the 29th, and do you know how many news articles we had about it? Guess how many local mainstream media news articles we had about this? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. If you're from Sumner County, raise your hand. How many do you think news articles came out about Pete Hegseth being there? I wonder why. I wonder why. This is a huge deal. If this happened in our state, this would be ran by literally 10 or 20 from publications to videos to a whole bunch. I think he did. That's all right. My boy you still got the back of my boy. You trading piece of, you know what? We say hell to the nah with Eric Craddock. Sheriff Snuggle Struggles. I wonder how you think somebody that has the pedigree of Pete Hegseth, how do you think Pete Hegseth feels about somebody in a public office talking about R being such a strong word? He prefers snuggle struggle. You make me sick. And I speak for every single essayed woman and R'd woman out there. You make me sick. It's not a laughing matter. I can tell you that. Especially when you assholes don't even solve the crime. I was R'd back in 2000, early 2000s. Do you think my crime has been solved even with all the DNA and latest DNA technology? Do you? No. I'm one of those statistics where I don't even get to throw my accuser in prison. How do you think that makes somebody like me feel when I hear somebody thinking it's funny or a joke? Something that robbed a lot of my life, that took me down a lot of dark paths. Makes me sick. Makes me sick. So Pete Hegseth was there. He gave some medals to some it sounds like very much needed law enforcement body out there in Hendersonville, the city of Hendersonville, their police department. So to the people that got their medals or their certificates or whatever from Pete Hegseth, I will tell you that was a once in a lifetime experience. I hope you guys all go off to make great officers. I can tell you your community is lacking amazing officers, so I hope that you guys go out and make it. I hope you guys have better leadership than the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. But please do your community right. Uphold that badge, and more importantly, uphold the Constitution, your integrity, your character, and your class. And know when you're asked to do something that's against the law, I pray that each and every one of you have the courage and the backbone to stand up, speak up, and say, no, you will not do that. That's what we need from law enforcement out there. When you know you're asked to do something that you're not supposed to be doing, you say no. You say no. Have the courage and the backbone, and do not let anybody bully you out of that. Okay? Do not let anybody bully you out of that. We are sick and tired of the crap we are getting from this. So now, let's start going through some of the employees we've got. Oh, we're going to go through all of it. I'm not done with Sumner County. I'm not done with now you can call Uncle. Now, Sumner County, my safe word is uncle. Anytime you're ready for me to get my boot off your neck, uncle, or solve Sebastian's case and throw the parents in jail. Safe word, uncle. I'm going to embarrass and drag your entire county because you're corrupt. You got disgusting people in disgusting places around our children in that county, and I say hell to the nah. Part-time fleet maintenance. Part-time fleet maintenance. Part-time deputy at Sumner County. It's awfully funny. Can you explain to me why we have a sheriff or a deputy in Sumner County and a fleet maintenance that has a public profiling that he works for the county? Why is he with all the porn stars? Can you ask me why Craig is affiliated with nothing but porn stars on here? want me to keep going? So we have creepy guys that are part of your fleet maintenance and part-time deputy at Sumner County around women that obviously has a pee-pee problem, right? He likes to love on himself a little bit too much. Is he doing that in those fleets? Is he doing that while he's working part-time for Sumner County? Is he checking on the jailhouse girls? Just, I want to cover all my bases here. I mean, if I know the place is corrupt and I know that you have disgusting people in different positions because you guys are corrupt, I might as well go through all your entire county, your entire employees. And you can go ahead and start sending out the thing to tell every employees, please take Sumner County off your intros and stuff like that. I hate to tell you, we've already captured them all. It's a day late and $1 short for your county. It's a day late and $1 short for your county. So we have disgusting people that like to be online while they're at work looking at porn. Great, great, great. I even got your wife. Too bad there's not a whole lot here for her, but we even got her Poshmark. Even got Poshmark. Meet your posher, Angela. I guess she was going to sell some of those high-end items that she had, that she purchased with corrupt money. Maybe they were getting a little short on their electric bill or something like that, and she decided she needed to get rid of some stuff. Doesn't look like she sold anything. I just want to let everybody know how far up the A, how far up the A I decided to go. It's going to be Bullhorn Betty colon cleanse. The special Sumner County Bullhorn Betty colon cleanse. Operation Colon Cleanse is underway. Operation Colon Cleanse is fully underway. Because we going way on up there. We're going down this rabbit hole. We're going down this rabbit hole. We haven't watched Jennifer Coffin Daffer in a while. You guys, if you guys know me, I love my Jennifer. Don't be messing with my Jennifer. I have high respect, high regard for her. I don't care what the hate channels say about her. I respect the hell out of this woman. I respect the hell out of her opinion. It gives me a lot to bite on. It's an opinion. It's, you go to the doctor, you got a rash, they think it might be poison ivy, but what if it's poison oak? They've given their opinion. They know it's a rash. All right. So that's what it is. Like, people want to sit here and it's like, it's the same with their experience and opinions. They're telling you what they believe may be going on behind the scenes because they don't have a crystal ball either. They just have their experience in law enforcement to tell you, this is kind of probably what's going on there. Does that mean it's going to be exact? No. But either way, we know it's a rash, right? We know it's a rash that needs to be exposed, and we need to figure out what kind of rash we got here so we can put some antibiotic ointment on it. All right?
A loud thud. What do you make of...
sorry, that was my...
And I don't want to say any supposed alert or his mother hearing anything.
Well, one, it depends on whether or not they're yippy dogs. There are some dogs that aren't going to alert on anything. It's just because it's not in their nature. The smaller the dog, it seems to me, the more...
I'm sorry. They have Yorkies, we all know. They'll be right in your lap, much like Delilah, right? She's right in my lap. She's a quiet dog. You guys don't hear her barking here, but let something move outside. You guys have heard her go... Ruff, 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 ruff. Let the neighbor come to the door and ring the doorbell. We got to... So the dog is fine and comforted as long as everything's normal. But when there's something abnormal going on, typically you're going to hear the dog, even if it's from their own owner. I've made Delilah bark because I did something that she wasn't used to and it startled her. So she barked, even at me, right? All right, let's keep going.
More yippy they are. And I know I have a a big old 90-pound dog.
Wow, Shauna.
And if I get up, he is going to let it be known that wherever I'm going, he wants to go there too. He's not kept in a kennel, but he's supposed to stay on his bed until he's told he can get up. And he lets...
I wish I could do that to Delilah, but Delilah runs this house, okay? We already know who the boss is here at Casa Bullhorn, okay? I'm glad that this guy has a nice trained dog. Yeah, I think I have her trained well, but you know what? To be honest with you, she can do whatever the hell she wants to and get away with it. She doesn't even... I popped her on her nose one time. Like, she doesn't even know punishment. Like, I say, no, don't do this, don't do that. And she usually stopped, but she doesn't even know, but she ran out in the road after she was told not to. So that was a little different. I felt like that warranted a pop on the nose, and it really wasn't even that hard. It was just enough to startle her. But like she doesn't get disciplined around here. Like I raise my voice and I'll get a gruff voice because you know they know sounds. So usually I'll talk really deep if she like. I don't want to say it. I don't want her thinking she's being punished right now, but I'll talk like that, you know. But she doesn't know that. But I'd love Delilah to sit on her bed and not move until she's told to move. Many of us don't have it like that. I'm just saying.
Everybody know when he wants to get up and go wherever you're going, because most dogs, you know, have that fear of missing out.
No privacy.
Right. I found the whole dog situation odd, and they were those smaller yippy dogs as you described. So I found just that whole situation with the dog strange.
Me too.
There was another clue that I wanted to ask you about, and that was the fact that the mother, Katie Proudfoot, she said, and this story changed, but essentially at first she said she heard a commotion in the room at night around 10 and yelled at him. At first she says she yells at him like, shut up in there, be quiet. And then later the story kind of, you know, dissolves down to more like, hey, buddy, can you keep it down? But nevertheless, by the end, she says the noise she actually heard was a loud thud. What do you make of, and I don't want to.
Now, if you guys haven't figured this out, as you guys can read, I left the bottom down so you knew who it was. This is a retired homicide detective. We definitely, now granted, he does not have the details of this case more than what the public does. So I'm sure just knowing he's a detective, he would not come up here on this show without doing a minimum research effort on the case if he was unaware of the case, okay? I know detectives. I know detectives' personality. I got law enforcement friends. I know that they're going to do research. They don't want to ever be ignorant, okay? They want to know as much information that they can get their hands on. That's just the nature of, just like we are, right? We want to know, we want to get our hands on as much information we can possibly get our hands on when we're covering these cases. He's going up there. He knows he's going to be on Jennifer Coffindaffer's channel no matter what. I mean, he's probably seen her friend, you know, being on shows and stuff. So he knows this is a big deal. And he's going to want to make sure that he comes from a place of knowledge and also makes his friend look well. So, and look good. So I believe he does have some semblance in here on the Sebastian Rogers case. So I'm very, very, very interested about how he's going to respond to this.
To say a change of story, but certainly the story that evolved. Did you find anything odd about that?
Yes, because if something uneventful happens in your life, the very next day, are you really going to remember it? But if something happens that's really uneventful, that you really wouldn't normally remember in the future, but then soon after that, something tragic happens that may involve that normal thing that you really wouldn't have paid attention to, you're going to remember it. You're not going to forget that.
I agree with that.
You know, it's kind of like when 9/11 happened. Most people would never remember where they were on.
there is no way you could ask me right now on September 11th in 2001 where I was had that event not happened. I remember that event because it was a once in a lifetime event. I was at Croy and Tim, a CPA firm that I worked for. I was fairly new there. My boss, Larry Croy, called me and said, go into my office and turn on the TV. And I'm like, what? He's like, go in my office and turn on the TV. So I turned on, I said, what channel? He goes, any of them. I'm telling you. He's like, get Doug. So I'm like, Doug, Larry's saying we need to go to the TV. I don't know what's going on. So we go to the TV. Literally, it didn't matter what channel you turned on. This whole thing was everywhere. And the reason why it was so memorable for me is because I was deathly scared. Why? Because President Bush was in Sarasota at an elementary school. I was literally at an office down the road from that elementary school that President Bush was at when this happened. Okay? So I'm watching the Secret Service whisper into President Bush's ear. Now, mind you, I saw it on TV. I wasn't there in person. And that whole kindergarten thing ended. That was it. It went off. We watched the planes. Me and Doug, Larry's rushing into the office. He's listening to it on his car, on the news, the radio. Me and Doug are piled in Larry's office watching it on his TV. And President Bush is down the road, literally less than, I think, 5 or 10 miles away from our office, with planes driving into the towers, the Pentagon, down in Pennsylvania, the field of Pennsylvania. I mean, it was crazy. And had that day not happened, I would never know where I was. But because of that very specific event, that fear, the fear I was in that day, I will never forget. And I can tell you, and you ask me this time, and 20 years from now, you will get the same exact story you got from me here today about what happened. Not one thing would be changed that I told you guys. Not one thing. Not one thing would be changed in that, because it's the truth. And the truth doesn't change no matter how many times you say it. Oh, Mike, thank you. Thank you. Bless you, my child. Bless you, my child. I hope you're doing well today. So I think that that's a good analogy, because I think if you go back into your story, I bet you everybody remembers where they were on 9/11. And I think that was a great analogy.
On 9/11, had that tragedy not occurred. But because of that, even the little things of that day are burned into our memory.
Yep.
If I was a parent and I heard something like a bang or a loud thud at night, I would, especially if I had a special needs child, I'd go say, "Hey, buddy, are you okay?"
That is what everybody has said. Even this incident. Now, we have to remember, it's not just that he's disabled, guys. With Sebastian, he has fluid on his brain. His parents knew a while ago, if he hit himself, if he got hit hard enough in the head, he could lose his life. It's exactly why his father would not put him into like a sport, because he loved being outdoors. You know, the one thing that they did put him in was running. They let him run, and you heard about that story. But other than that, they didn't want him into sports because he had that fluid on his brain. And so we're dealing not with just a child of autism. We're dealing with a child that has an ailment that means if his head was hit too hard, he could die. And so you're talking about hearing a thud in that child's room. What reasonable parent wouldn't have gotten up and checked on their child when they know they have this fluid on their brain and they just heard a thud that they've never heard in their house before? Think about that. Think about that.
Check on them. What's up? And if they were missing the next day, I would definitely remember exactly what I heard, when I heard it,
Yep.
and what I thought it was, and that wouldn't change. But that's me. Everybody's different.
These are military trained people that have been required to learn and store orders, specific orders in their brains, not written orders, orders verbalized to them. Okay? So I absolutely believe that Chris and Katie, hashtag Chris Proudfoot and Katie, and you know what, might as well throw their POS grandparents in, but I'm just, because Katie and Chris are military trained. They were more equipped than Eric Craddock in tracking and finding their son, and for a year and a half they stayed on the sidelines. They're more equipped. They have more training to locate missing people. Chris went to a different country for a mission to find missing people. Do you guys understand that? He went to another country searching for missing people. But wouldn't get off his ass to search for his own missing son in a year and a half. And I'm sorry, you can pull this, oh, well, we just wanted law enforcement to do their job. Fine, okay? After 30 days and they're not producing a damn thing, what time would you start putting yourself into it and saying, look, these people ain't doing it. Maybe we need to quit relying on them. I mean, this is our son. It looks like they pretty much shit on him. You know, it doesn't look like they're looking for him anymore. I mean, how many of you military people that are in my chat wouldn't be putting your dress camouflages on and getting your butt out in the woods looking for your kid when your sheriff can't? You know your child just left the house. Why aren't you out there trying to find your child? I had brain aneurysm caused by too many thuds to my head, yeah. The CI needs the video, period. I bet they didn't submit it. You know what we need? We need them to work with the U.S. Marshals. My state worked with the U.S. Marshals, and it netted us 60 children that were at risk, that were being trafficked in my state. The U.S. Marshals do their job. They do their job well. They are an amazing organization. And they are willing to come in on Sebastian's case. But listen here, Sumner County has turned them down. Every single time Sumner County turns them down. Meanwhile, we keep seeing all these corrupt people hanging out with the Proudfoots. Everybody in the county knows the Proudfoots, knows the Bowersox. You know, what the hell? Literally, what the hell? We need the corruption out. We need Sebastian found. We need to hold the people accountable that disappeared him, which, let's face it, we cover these cases. There's domestic violence in the house. We see there's substances in the house. We know there's alcohol in the house. It's hitting all the red boxes in all the right spots. These parents did something to this child. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And when you got a law enforcement body that's basically running everybody off, that's screaming the truth while they cover the truth, well, you know what? That's the definition of a corrupt county. It's a definition of a corrupted sheriff. It's a definition of a corrupted DA and a corrupted court. Corrupted, corrupted, corrupted. The media's corrupted. The people are corrupted. And a 16-year-old boy, is the victim. And nobody will pull their head out of their ass for this boy and put their corruption aside for the sake of this boy. Put the Proudfoots behind bars where they belong, solve this case, and let's move on, and let's get social media out of your life so you can continue with your good old boys club. Because if we're going to sit here and have to fight and pull, we're going to sit here and fight and pull. And I'm telling you, social media is not something you want to have a pissing contest with. It's just not. But a pissing contest we will give you. A pissing contest we will give you. And I can tell you, by the time social media is done with Sumner County, we're going to strip you of all your dignity. All your dignity. You don't want that. Solve the damn case. Solve the case. That's what we want. Solve the case. I'm going through your entire, nobody's off limits. Nobody's off limits. I'm going to go through your teachers. I'm going to go through your assistants. I'm going to go through anything I see that's embarrassing. I'm putting their asses up here on my show. I'm going to make it hurt, and I'm going to squeeze. I'm going to squeeze the shit out of Sumner County until we have some resolution to this case. Again, my safe word is uncle. This is some shady county with some shady people being employed in all types of shady positions in this county, and we just want Sebastian brought home, or the people thrown in jail that did this to this boy. Period. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. Get the children diddlers out of your government. Let's start there, Eric Craddock in the county. Why don't we start moving these people that have deviant behaviors and personalities? Why don't we put people in those positions that represent our community well, not somebody that looks like he's jacking his D in the back of a fleet truck? Just saying, not playing. Welcome to social media. You aren't getting this content from your mainstream media, and you damn sure ain't getting this content from anywhere in Sumner County, because they will lie about it. Their media lies for their politicians. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. Clip this. Clip me. Clip me, baby. Pass this stuff around. We want everybody knowing how corrupt Sumner County is. This is not a place for women. This is not a place for children. This is only a playground for old white men with a lot of money. Okay? That's all this playground's for, is the old white creepy man that likes to diddle with money. That's Sumner County. Congratulations. All right. Have a happy Wednesday. We'll see you guys soon. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. I'm going to go play with Delilah. Delilah deserves. Let's see if we can get her to do it today. Okay, come here. Come. Oh, let me lean back. Okay, hold on. Let me lean back so you get... All right, now we're ready. Come on. All right, there you are. She's wearing blue today. Her blue diaper. Do you want to go play ball? Ow! Do you want to play ball? Tell them. Tell the audience how much. You won't do it until I pick up. Okay, let me act like I'm getting off. Okay, you guys can hear. Are you ready to go play ball? You ready to go play ball? Mommy gonna be... You're not doing it. What? You ready to go play ball? Oh, hold on. She's not doing it. She goes crazy. Yesterday when I got off here, and I told you she goes crazy, she literally went crazy. She went, rah, 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 rah. I'm like, really? That's what I was trying to get you to do online. You wouldn't do it. And now she won't do it again. She really holds back for you guys. I don't know why. I don't know why she holds back for you guys, but she holds back for you guys. I'm going to pick up the camera. I'm going to show you guys this. I'm going to show you guys that she is a cutie. She's my cutie. Aww. Van Lady, it's nice to see you all. Thank you all who decided to play a part of our goals. Please don't forget, we're trying to get 15 subscribers. We're trying to share this out. I can't remember how many times I was sharing it out. 5 times, I think, on all platforms. Maybe I said 10 times. But we're trying to get the channel further and farther. And we are kind of, going a little deep. We're going all in on the Sebastian Rogers case. We're sick and tired of it. And if they want to keep their mouth shut, fine. We're gonna make somebody scream. I'm gonna make somebody scream. People are gonna lose their jobs by the time I'm done. I can tell you that. But we can avoid it all if Sumner County just does the right thing, But I'm not gonna stop my reporting on this crap county. And I hope you guys all support it. And I hope that other content creators pull this information up and show it on your channel. You will not be, I will not strike for this channel here. I really don't even care what you say. You guys, even the hate channels. Show the story. Share the story. Dog me. I don't care on this one. You guys just get the information out there however you have to get it. If you're going to say, oh my God, look at this crazy. Okay, well, look at this crazy lady, but she's still coming with some truth. So pass it on around. Pass it on around. All right, we'll see you guys soon.